Remember when you were little and your mom used to say, "Don't talk to strangers"? Well, I'm here to teach you how to do the opposite of that. Kim here, helping you be less awkward, hopefully. If this is your first time here, you may want to consider subscribing, because not only do I offer stellar career advice, I also smile a lot. Who says life advice has to be boring? Not this kid. My career often has me meeting all sorts of new people all the time. And this may come as a surprise to some of you, but I'm 100% an introvert. I really don't like talking to people, which is why I talk to a camera. I overthink everything, it wears me out, it's just a lot. But over time, I've developed a few ways to approach people that makes it so much easier. So today I will be sharing with you 4 icebreakers to help you talk to strangers. These can come in handy both professionally for networking and for social events. So if you're off to your very first business conference and have no idea how you're going to talk to your colleagues, this will help you out. Or if you're on your way to a party where you don't know a soul, this will make it a little easier. Disclaimer, none of these are guaranteed to work. These are just the 4 ways I use to make really great lasting connections with people. Icebreaker number 1, the genuine compliment. Please note the use of the word genuine. Those shoes look really great. That bag looks awesome. Your shirt's hilarious. Tiny little respectful compliments can make an instant connection with a person, but only if it's genuine. If you think their shoes make them look like a hobo, don't say, "Hey, your shoes look really fancy." People can sense when you're being fake, and it's very important for you not to be fake. It also helps if you pick something that is conventionally cool. Don't point to a plain white t-shirt and say, "Wow, that is the most unique shirt I think I've ever seen." Because, it's not. This is extremely helpful if they have some sort of pop culture reference on or around them. If you're a Doctor Who fan and you see a bad wolf button on a messenger bag, it's very easy to just go, "Nice button." It works! If you're at a professional event, it's also handy to point out how smart people are. "Oh, you're recording this lecture, that's genius." All sorts of those little things. After you've given your genuine compliment, make sure you take it a step further. No, not inappropriately. Be cool! "Those shoes are really great." Thanks. Where'd you get them? That is a really cool Bad Wolf pin. Oh, thanks. I thought the new season was pretty good, but I still think that David Tennant was way better. "You're recording this lecture? That's genius." Are you just using the recording device on your smartphone, or did you download a specific app for that? The point is to engage. Keep it going in a natural way. I know that it's kind of hard to have things like this come naturally, but the more genuine and authentic you are, the easier it will be, I promise. After you've continued the conversation, it's okay to ease off a little bit. You don't want to be that really weird person that keeps talking but won't shut up. If they engage back with you and show you the app on the phone and tell you how they use it and gush about how great it is, that's awesome. You're engaging in a conversation. That's a win. If they don't engage, that's totally okay. Basically, you've secured a baseline connection so that if you see them again in a hallway or later at the party, they think in their brain, "Oh, that's the girl that liked my shoes." You're in their head a little bit, and that's good. Especially if this is for something professional, like a conference or a networking event, you're sort of burned in their brain just a little bit. And if they see you later, they can be the ones who approach you. This is also the easiest way because people tend to like talking about themselves. Not necessarily because they're narcissistic or self-absorbed, but simply because it's a subject they know. It's a lot easier to talk to people if you're confident with the subject matter. The genuine compliment is a great way to talk to strangers. The second icebreaker I like to use, asking a relevant question. This is very helpful in large group events, parties, conventions, conferences, classrooms, places where there's a lot of people and a lot going on. It's very likely that you've never been where you are before, so you're gonna have questions and you're gonna be trying to figure things out, and so is everybody else. For example, do you know what time this session starts? Do you know if there's any good coffee around here? Sorry to bother you, but do you happen to know where the restrooms are? Again, it's important to be genuine. Don't just ask something random and irrelevant. If you're at a funeral, don't ask about the Yankee game. Unless you know the dead guy was a Yankee fan. Then it works. It's important to keep your question relevant. It's also extra helpful if you're actually wondering. But you can lie just a little bit to help you break the ice. Yes, I'm just telling you to lie to strangers. But you gotta do what you gotta do when you're socially awkward. Do keep in mind though that if you don't need to use the restroom and you ask where it is, get up and go anyway. Again, it's important to follow up afterwards. Do you know what time the session starts? The session starts at 10. Oh, awesome. I was worried I was gonna be late. Is there any good coffee around here? Yeah, I saw a coffee car around the corner that way. Oh, thank you so much. I'd hate to have to get through this day without it. Do you know where the restrooms are? Down the hall, second door on your right. Thank you so much. I hope there's not a line. A lot like the genuine compliment, it's important to just follow through a little bit just to kind of secure that connection. Bonus tip, if you come upon them afterwards, it's really awesome to say thank you in a very genuine way. They'll remember that. Got my coffee, now I can function. Thank you so much. Genuine compliments, genuine questions, and genuine gratitude go a really long way. I mean, think about it. They could have flat out ignored you. And some people might. Move on. Trust me. And again, if the conversation keeps going, that's awesome. If not, you've secured the baseline connection, and they just might remember you later. Icebreaker number 3 is a little bit more advanced. The out loud observation of your surroundings. Essentially, you're thinking out loud and hoping a conversation stems from it. Like I said, this is a little bit more of an advanced technique, but it can totally work if you're in the right situation. This technique may be a little more appropriate for a social event, but you may be surprised at its effectiveness at a professional event as well. It's a little hit or miss, but worth a shot. Ooh, it is freezing in this meeting hall. Wow, wish I'd brought my camping chair for waiting in this line. Oh, this dip is amazing. It's helpful if you direct this at a person, just don't make it weird. A little eye contact and a brief smile at the end lets a person know you're sort of addressing them, but not necessarily expecting anything. For example, this cocktail's amazing. Don't make it weird though. This cocktail's amazing. Be cool. A little humor or a clever remark can definitely help this technique as long as it's not something controversial or polarizing. You know, stay away from politics and religion. Genuine curiosity can also help. This sort of ties into the last one about asking a relevant question because you can make an observation that's a question but not necessarily directed at any one person. You're just letting them know that it's open for a response should they care to give one. With this technique, confidence is key. Real or fake, doesn't matter. It's just important to let them know that you are not at all embarrassed to be thinking out loud. And honestly, why should you be? Think about it. And just like the other topics, follow through at the end. Try to keep the conversation moving along naturally. Sometimes it'll happen, and sometimes you're gonna get a weird smile and nod. Either way, you've secured a connection and they think, oh, there's a person who has opinions, which really isn't a bad thing to be. My last icebreaker is definitely an advanced technique. This is not going to work for everyone, and you can definitely crash and burn with it if you're not careful. But I wanted to include it anyway because, well, it can work in a desperate situation. It can also work in a situation where you can give some genuine help. So, don't write it off. Icebreaker number 4. Eavesdropping and offering advice. This is tricky. This is not a technique you can set up like the other ones where you just approach someone and hope for the best. Circumstances are going to play into this. I'll start with an example. You're at a party, sitting on the couch, munching on some Cheetos, having a great time. The 2 girls next to you are having a conversation about local farmers markets. They're saying things like, I wonder if there are any of them around here. I'm not really sure. I guess I'll have to Google it. With my mouth full of Cheetos, I realize that I'm from here and I know exactly when the farmers markets are and where you can find them. So I converse with them as such. Sorry, I couldn't help overhearing, but I'm pretty sure that the farmers markets are only open on Saturday mornings and they're at either Pioneer Park or Sugar House Park. Boom! Conversation! Like I said, it doesn't always work. They could get right up and walk away because you were clearly listening in on their conversation, or they could thank you and ask you more questions about the farmer's market and take the conversation on from there. This can also work if they're talking about something you're particularly passionate about. If I hear someone talking about a book I know is really good, I'm definitely going to be scooching my way closer to try to wriggle my way into that conversation because man, am I going to have things to say. A few warnings with this technique. It takes confidence, courage, and also some actual knowledge. This could also label you that weird girl who totally invaded our conversation. Like I said, very risky, but if you do choose to use it, make sure you always, always, always follow up with a genuine, sincere apology. Sorry, I know I totally jumped in your conversation, but I didn't want to just leave you wondering about it. Sorry, I totally jumped in your conversation. You just had me all excited because this is one of my favorite books. It can work. You just have to be careful with it. Use at your own risk. Those are the 4 icebreakers I use to talk to strangers. I have used all 4 of these many, many times, both in networking and at random parties and places. They can work. Just be careful, have confidence, and of course, as always, be genuine. I cannot stress that enough. If this has helped you out at all, consider subscribing to this YouTube channel because sometimes I say things that are helpful. Feel free to share this video with those who are socially inept. You know the people I'm talking about. You know, it could be you, could be your friend. Thanks for watching!